Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Motorsport Manager, and it's episode 21. Currently, I'm in season 4 of competition, racing down in the GP3 category. We've been hovering around $30 million for our budget for quite a while. We lose slightly, and we also have been spending a lot of money on the car, which continues to improve, is now 6th best on the grid. Just a short while ago, it was 8th on the grid. The drivers are decent. The headquarters is improving, but it's been a long-term project on the current improvement. Our staff is 2nd. Our sponsors have slipped from 1st to 4th this week after a new sponsorship wasn't as good as a previous one, even though I continue to improve the overall percentage. But the pit crew is another area that continues to climb. It is now 2nd best on the grid. Speaking of, here is a quick look at that pit crew. This week it is very fresh. Everybody's 80 or above, shouldn't face any problems, and that is despite a number of top pit crew members resting up this week. Still looking pretty good. We are under 14 seconds now. A lot of it is down to the refueling, which I now have 3 really strong pit crew members, 13-13 and a 14 there. And Wells is one of those that's resting up. They're a 14-14. Definitely better than either of these two, and Podium will probably be replaced by Wells next week, making us that much faster. It's still 6 days before the race. Let's go ahead and take a look. Right now we are working on a new gearbox. We're down to subtle improvements. I've almost done all that can be done this year on the car. Kind of maybe a 1 more per thing, though I'm definitely down to the final engine of the year. I've pretty much done what can be done in most areas. The factory is one area where it can still make slight improvements. That latest engine, which you can see is the 4th one that I've built this year. One of the engines, the next to last, is nearly maxed out. An identical 2nd engine is just behind it and almost as reliable now. The current brakes are coming along, the best of them anyway. Still slightly behind. Here's the 2 gearboxes we've been on for a while. I'm adding 1 more here in the near future. My spec parts are still only at 81%, so they will be stepped up in the near future, but the engine was my priority. It's only going to be done just 1 hour before race, and we're still looking at about a month until those are done. But of course, if this shifts from 20 to 10 staff members, that'll go up and get done that much faster. And I have a new suspension that I just added, but I have not touched it yet. So the 2 suspensions that are on right now are totally maxed out in every way. And you can see that the next suspension has the same specs as the top one, but it also adds plus 40 during race, but minus 10 reliability. So I'll have to be careful with that, but I'll get that ready for probably the next race. Alright, looks like somebody's offering me $250,000 to vote their way. Let's see. Next vote is going to be coming up on switching to slick tires up to the 2nd level, and I'm not sure what level we're at right now. The funny thing though is I kind of want to move up to the slick tires because next year I plan on really investing in the car. So no, I'm not going to sell my vote this time because I don't need that $250,000, and actually want to see what we could do for next year. Speaking of next year, one thing I'm really keeping an eye out for right now is that Trident Racing is leading in the points. But you can see Rapax has 4 wins out of 5 races. They are clearly the most dominant team out there. By far the best team. But 3 straight DNFs to start the year by Paragon, even though he's had a couple wins otherwise, is why they are not leading in the points. So Alessi and Jorg have been more consistent, which is why they lead in the points. Johnson's only a handful of points behind, but he's had his troubles too, just not as bad as Paragon. But that 40-point deficit from Paragon, well, there you go. They're only, 32 points behind. So I'm actually hoping that here over the final 4 races of the season, that Rapax can overcome Trident and win the Constructors' Championship. Why, you might ask? Because that would mean Rapax would be promoted, Trident would stay put. I can beat Trident next season. At least I believe I can. Rapax, they're so far beyond that I would have to rely on the same thing that Trident would get this year. Their consistency over Rapax's performance advantage. Meaning I would have to rely on Rapax having multiple DNFs. Having a driver like Paragon who's wrecked. It wasn't the car. Paragon wrecked 3 straight races to open the season and had 3 points. Right? I mean, you got 3, 3, and 1 points for Paragon, and then 2 straight wins since then. And Johnson has had 1 DNF as well. So Alessi hasn't even won a race. Second, third, wherever that was, a few spots down, and then third again. So 4 podiums, which is good, and that's why they lead in the points. But I've been right behind them. And I'd rather face Trident next year than Rapax. So we'll see how that develops in the coming races. As for episodes, which I'm about to get into the race, we're just a few days away from it. There's 4 races left, so this one will be on camera. I don't think we'll get to the return to Portugal, which, let's see, how did I do at the beginning of the season on that? Aaron mid-pack and Gil towards the back, but that was definitely a car condition one on why Gil was that far back. So my last race, I was very much mid-pack, 8th and 10th. And then, what is that, Bahrain and Russia to end the season. I'll probably have 2 more episodes for the final 2 races, most likely. We'll see. I might, depends on where we're at in the points. There might only be 2 episodes left to finish the season. But if I'm going to get through a race, I better get to it. So let's move on. All right, new vote started. And I'm voting for it. You say that, but I actually have a lot better budget than you think I do. And next year I will definitely have a lot better budget. Alright, let's go fast here. And it's approved. So we're moving on to slick tires for next year. Okay, before we head into the race, we got a couple things. Ooh, ART Junior just improved the new handling development center. Just a $5 million investment, so it's not a big change to their headquarters. But we can get our next part going, which is definitely this one. but I'm not going to work on the performance side of it just yet. Especially when I want to focus on these 3 parts for right now still. And pretty much get them done before focusing on new parts. Give that a couple. Yeah, subtle difference, but it'll actually have an impact on getting that part up and going after this race. Alright, so top 3 is what I'm going to need in order to grab the sponsorship bonus. And we'll look at fitting parts. Okay, so here is an upgrade available. We now have 2 quality engines to put on the cars. Really? Why are you unhappy? What the heck? Whatever. Okay, what would this be? Estimated position of 7th. And 9th. What a huge improvement from a race ago where I think you were like 12th or 13th on the estimated position. Now it's up to 9th and you go to unhappy. Right. Makes a lot of sense. You're such a smart guy. Alright. Well, I assume the race itself will take care of that. It's only minus 8%. So I'll deal with that. Aaron's a lot higher in the standings. So even though they are supposed to have equal cars, Aaron gets the edge in that department because Aaron's been better. Part of that was Gil had that DNF, so there was a lot of points in that race. But Gil's only finished ahead of Aaron once this season, and it was only by a single position. So Gil was 3rd, Aaron was 4th in one of the races a couple episodes back. Ooh, Aaron's got a bonus in feedback now, plus 12. Ooh, softs and mediums for this race, huh? Well, I certainly haven't had much in terms of quality in tires this year. They never seem to last. So I probably should go with the mediums. Yeah, look how big of a difference there is. But performance is certainly going to be a difference. I feel like in terms of pit stops hurt a lot more than it does losing a second a lap and then you pit 9 laps later. Well, that's 9 seconds. Pit stop's going to cost 23, 24 seconds. So staying out longer has a bigger impact. Okay, here's one thing I have started doing, and I've definitely noticed a difference. Weight stripping. So here's the layout for that. What I have been doing is doing it directly from here. I went for 90% the first time. I went for 85% last time. And things got a little hairy at the end of the race, but I was really pushing. I had 2 different tactics for the 2 different drivers. And let's see if I can do it this way. Yeah, there you go. And apply to other car. So this is what I did last time. I dropped everything to 85%, picked up a performance gain of 180 on both cars. And there you see, there's Gil's problem. Consistency is just 3. Cornering is just 5. Anyway, It's definitely noticeable. And we're going to take practice. Once again, if you haven't seen this before, practice sessions are very fast at this level with the rules in the league anyway. And so my focus is getting the setup just right. Why? Because there is no qualifying. Practice doesn't matter anyway. You don't gain anything or lose anything from practice. What you're going for is you're trying to figure out your setup. So I'm not worried about times. I'm just out here to get set up right. So I'm going to bring them right back in and take whatever feedback they can give me one time around the track. Nice. Good, good, good. Last race was really difficult. I never got the setup quite right. I was only mid-90s by the end of it. So starting out at 87 is fantastic. However, I have no idea which direction to go on any of these things. So we'll try that. Okay, both cars pretty good off the start. 89% for this one. Handling is great. And I will do the same thing that I did on the other car, except for I guess I'm going the opposite direction here. Okay, both cars heading back out. Okay, bring them both back in. Get them around and slow it back down before they come into the pit so I can maximize my time. I want to make those adjustments immediately as soon as they come in. Okay, we're up to 90%. 2 of 3 went the right direction. Downforce needs to continue to the left just a little bit more. Okay. Speed balance, I want to keep it right where it is, but I need to get the handling towards understeer a good amount. So that's going to happen that way. Maybe even more. And then can we lock that back down? Good, there you go. Alright, downforce went the right way. Handling and speed balance went the wrong way. So I want to continue to bring the downforce a little more to the left. There we go. And then I need to bring these back the way they were, which is this way, right? Okay, that's about where they were, which was great and good. A little more. Oop, not too much. Okay, so we're a little left of great. We're a bit right of good. Okay, I'm going to try that setup. Okay, I think both cars are pretty close, so I'll run around just the one more lap, see if we've got it right, and then bring them both in, make sure we got it right, make any final adjustments. Next time we will run hot laps, but not this time. Not this time. There we go. So we're going to bring them back in again. I know that puts us at the bottom of the field right now, but again, not worried about that. What I'm worried about is getting this thing just right, and we are so close. 98%. That'll do. That'll do. All right, now am I curious enough to change the setup? We have one level right now on medium tires. If I go again, we'll get a second level. Maybe I should take that bonus, because then I can actually run these medium tires in the race and they should be close to what the softs would do, but they would certainly last a lot longer, which would help me in the long term over the course of the race. So we're going to stick with the mediums, and both cars are looking pretty good on the setup. 98% here as well. Speed balance just a fraction off. But that's so hard to adjust this one without messing up the handling. And at 98%, even one adjustment on the gear ratios would throw it off a bit more. So we're going to take our setup and have both cars go out and run some hot laps and just speed through the end of this practice session. They might have to come back in to refuel, possibly before the end. Here's that first hot lap, and how are they looking? 9th and 12th. Gil's always just a little bit behind Arendt. There's level 2 unlocked, so that's going to give us a 20% total bonus. And they both finished that lap as well. Now 8th and 11th. And they're going to head back into the pits this time. Not quite level 3. It'd be nice if they would have made it. But on this level, I've never had a level 3 unlocked. It's just too short of a session to make that happen, unless you don't worry about getting your setup right, which is a disaster waiting to happen. But medium tires and worn tires late in the session, and we were upper middle of the pack. So definitely think we can have a very competitive car today for the race, weather permitting. We're starting off good, nice, sunny. No, I want the double bonus, not the... You're only going to save me about a pit. Ooh, pit stop legend. But at the same time, there's no difference between those. That's about a second. That's about a second. This is going to be closer to a second per lap difference. So that's why I'm going to take that. But I'm not going out there on the softs. Going out there on the mediums. Again, out there on the mediums. Okay. Get that driver strategy down. Let's see. Arendt starting 17th. Gil is starting 7th. We are on medium tires, so they should be a little more durable, not heat up as fast. So we can run hard at the start, hopefully pick up a few grid positions on the track, and then we'll need to settle down and settle in for the long haul, make those tires last a bit. Gil is the highest car on the track on the medium tire. Only a handful of us, only 8 drivers running the mediums, everybody else on the softs to start. Arendt drops 1 place on the starting grid. Gil gains 1. I'm going to keep an eye on those tire temps, and then we'll settle it down. I'm going to get through this race probably pretty quickly, I would imagine. Running mediums and everything, there's not going to be a whole lot of micromanagement. Whoa, 4 wide! 4 wide, and Gil comes through all of it up to 3rd place. Arendt is still back in 18th. We're going to keep an eye on that. I'm already going to settle. Arendt there just picked up. Oh no! Arendt has crashed. Are you kidding me? I settled it. Okay, Gil goes into lead, so we're looking at a 1-horse race here now. Arendt crashes out on the 2nd lap of the race as I'm settling Arendt down, going, "You're not going anywhere." So just settle in. So I back things off for Errant, and Errant goes out of the race. No yellow. Gill is pulling out ahead early, picking up some real distance. And let's speed things along, because this is going to be a long day if I don't speed through this. So let's let Gill get out there and make things happen. There are tons of places speed trap wise, and it looks like this front stretch is kind of the best one. Lap 6, Gill remains in the lead, 4.5 seconds up. Not really pulling away, but it's Paragon and Johnson already running second and third. And Gill is keeping the gap to them, which is awesome. Now, tires are getting worn. Let's slow it down here. We're going to need to come in this time. So Gill's going to pit this time, and I'm going to stick with the mediums. They worked, and they're at 38%. So, so far so good, as Gill is running out in front and keeping the position fast enough to stay ahead. Now, I think of the, 4 career podiums that I've had here in Season 4 now, I believe of those 4 podiums, only one has been a second place, and the other 3 have all been third place. I do not believe that I have had a win yet. Another car just went out. Kvyat just crashed out and is currently slipping down through the field. Okay, so Gill, we're going to continue to run hard. He's at 65%. I need to make sure. Let's see. Wait as he comes around here. There we go. Gets that speed up. Now through pit stops is second, and 1 car left who has not pit yet. And we're not even that far behind them. Okay, weather's going to hold. We are back into the lead after Kari pits and drops all the way to 15th. We got a shot at winning this race. Paragon is close, though. I don't know what happened to Johnson, but Johnson definitely dropped back. They're both, Paragon and Johnson are both on the soft tires, so they're going to be pitting a lot sooner than I am. And I've got a chance that I might be able to come out on the softs for the final stint and be able to push to the end. Paragon is closing us down, though, a bit here. But this is a good time to use some ERS and stretch that lead back out some. I have plenty of ERS to do it again next lap. That did get us a couple seconds back on Paragon. And a pretty solid lap that continued around as we are stretching that lead quite a bit this lap. That could be tire condition as Paragon is sliding backwards. 11 laps remain. I got to keep an eye on my fuel. Okay, use that ERS. Got just a little bit left. There's the fastest lap of the race. I've never set a fastest lap at through this series. That's the first time that I've set a fastest lap. Besides one of those, I was the first one to cross the line on the first lap, and it, boom, fastest lap, and then it was gone away. Gone a moment later. 8-second lead now as Paragon is down to like 25% on the tire wear. However, am I going to make it back around for one more lap? Yes, just. Okay, we are going to pit this lap. How many laps? Oof. Maybe I take the bonus and just race him hard all the way to the end. 11. You know what? We'll make it on the softs. I just don't know. With my 10% bonus, we'll stick with the mediums. And then let's get enough fuel to get to the end. Plus 1 lap. 13 seconds on that last stop. Yeah, we don't want to run as hard either. We're down to the mid-40s. I don't want to make a huge mistake, so we're going to stick with... Okay, I want to save just a little bit of fuel. Okay, we should make it now. Tire wear, push that. Push, push, push. There we go. We're going to run out of fuel just in the pits. We just had enough fuel to make it in. That was awesome. And job well done on the stop. Okay, we're not going to go massively. We're going to push for a couple laps, and then we're going to push hard to the end. We are in second right now. Mena has not pit yet, but we have about a 7-second gap to us and Paragon, and Paragon's already quite a ways down on those tires. Now we retake the lead. Got a real shot at winning this race here. Kari's 12 seconds back and still hasn't pit. Alessi hasn't pit. Johnson is way back, 15 seconds down. So really, it's just Paragon who can catch us. They are on the softs while I'm running mediums. Boy, what could have happened if Arent would have not crashed out of this race? Could I be running 1-2? Well, I don't know if I'd be ahead of Paragon from where we started, but could I be running like 1-3 or, 4th or 5th? 2 solid cars at the top. I mean, Gil, of all cars, is hanging on here. Just 3 laps remaining. Okay, let's use those tires. They're going to easily make 3 laps at 70%. So we'll push that. But at the same time, am I running the risk of also crashing Gil? Well, Arent didn't crash out on pushing. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and back off. Is this the final lap? Final lap. Okay, I don't want to run out of fuel. Do not want to run out of fuel. Okay, now we'll put it into high mode. We're good. We're gonna make it to the end here, and we are. I'm gonna hang on. I'm gonna win this race. There it is. My first win at this level. And it comes with good and bad because I end up with first and last. It's a little bit mixed on the emotions, but very, very happy. First win with GP3 category. So using the Formula One Season 2017 mod, which the graphics have kind of changed. I think that's through updates now that we're into the 2018 season. The graphics are back to looking like the stock in the game, but the mod itself is still in place. It's really just visual. It doesn't change the gameplay itself, so the gameplay is normal, and now the gameplay, even the visual, is normal. The only thing that's different at the moment is the names. So the names have been updated. I didn't run any risk parts, so the win will hold. I didn't retain the fastest lap bonus. Alessi ended up taking that away from me. Regardless, pick up 20 points for Gil, but stupidly Arent crashes out on the second lap. There it is, a win. We got a trophy. And that brought the two drivers much closer together. Arent drops from 4th to 7th in the standings. Gil moves from 14th to 10th in the standings, still behind Arent even after winning. But things are much closer together. As a team, I actually dropped from 4th to 5th, or was I? I don't know if that's where I was before. Whatever it may be, I am so much closer. I've already outscored both of my last 2 seasons with 3 races to go, and most likely I will surpass my record score haul in a season within the next race. And if we do well enough here down the stretch, we could still crack the top 3 in the Constructors' Championship before the end of the season. We could certainly move up another spot as we are level with ART Junior right now. So, coming off my first win ever, let's see what they have to say. Morale drops by 20% for Errant after finishing last, but still manages to improve. Not happy with the mechanic either, but again, she's the one at fault here. We also hit our sponsorship objectives, so I actually had a positive balance for the first time in quite a few races. And here we go with a Formula 1 race. Things are very, very tight at the top, even though the top in the point standings, none of them were on the podium in this race. But after Russell finishes 4th, Bottas finishes 5th, and Perez all the way down in 8th, things are extremely tight with quite a few races still to go in the season at the Formula 1 level. But Perez has a 1-point lead over Bottas, and Russell is just 3 further points behind, and Verstappen a little ways behind that. So Mercedes still leads the constructors, but not by much over Red Bull. And Ferrari kind of dragging behind a little bit this season, but absolutely the same 3-team race that it is in real life as well. And meanwhile, in the Formula 2 category... Oh, no, not Formula 2. This is mine, sorry. GP3. Here we are, 5th place. 139 points. And first career win for myself as team principal. Podium for your team is a great result. Ramrai Gill raced supremely. How do you feel? Yes, yes, yes. I am a genius. Or should I give him credit? Today's... Oh, there you go. It feels good, but we need to build on this success. Today is just the start. Pit crew review. Only 2 pit stops in the last race after Errant's crash early on. They shouldn't be fatigued, but they are. And let's see, is there any new pit crew out there available that's worth it? There's a nice fixing and refuel. There's a decent Jackman, 14 and a 90. Might be good to bring in. Sure, why not? Let's do that. Okay, so we got a new rear Jackman onto the team. We actually have a pretty good one there too. But Ramirez has some range. So I'll be good at Jackman rear jack from now on, as I have, well, really 3. Excellent. Jackman compared to what I've had in the past. All right. Well, I am out of time for this episode. Very stoked to finally get first career win, 4 seasons in. Like I said, the difference is real apparent this year. Paragon was denied his 3rd straight win by getting Gil the win. And ironically, they are dead even in the standings after both struggling through the first 3 races of the season. And Johnson just 1 point off Alessi now. It's getting tight at the top. Speaking of, though, let's take a look at those team standings. How close are they getting? Rapax now within 23 points at the top. All right, well, that does it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe, and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.